My sister locked me in my parents' freezing basement for 14 hours. When my mom found out, she shrugged and said, "Stop overreacting. It was just a prank." 2 days later, a doctor saw the footage and said one sentence that made them both go silent. Growing up, my sister Mallory was the golden child. I was the extra. If I brought home straight A's, my mom talked about Mallory's cheer trophy. My dad cared, but my mom ran the house. As adults, Mallory kept using me. Just this once money. Just until payday. I finally totaled it up over 12 grand, never repaid. When I cut her off, she didn't speak to me unless she needed a target. That Thanksgiving, my dad wanted to celebrate my promotion. I'd also mentioned I was helping him organize estate documents and pull credit reports. Mallory got interested. She asked when I'd run them. She asked what kind of weird stuff I could see. Then she told me to leave my phone charging during family time. The next morning, my dad mentioned a bank notice he didn't recognize. I said I'd check his credit after breakfast. Mallory's smile didn't move, but her eyes did. 20 minutes later, she called, sweet as syrup. Her voice was too calm. "Hey, the sump pump's making a noise. Can you look? Dad shouldn't go down there." I went down. I left my phone and my inhaler on the counter. 1 minute, I was shining a flashlight at the pump. The next, the door slammed and a deadbolt clicked from the outside. Then I ran up the stairs. Next, I hit the door with my shoulder. Nothing. Then I yelled her name until my throat burned. Next, the music upstairs got louder. Again, I pounded the wood, hands raw and shaking. Then my lungs started wheezing without my inhaler. Next, I sat on the cold steps and fought to stay awake. The basement was in the 30 seconds. Concrete sucked the heat right out of me. Hours blurred into coughing fits and shivers. Then, no shivering at all. At some point, I started seeing things that weren't there. I kept counting and reciting anything I could, because falling asleep felt like dying. Upstairs, Mallory told everyone I got a work emergency and left. She used my phone to text my wife, Harper, like it was me. My mom rolled her eyes and said, "Of course he ran back to work." No one questioned why my car was still in the driveway. The only person who did was my buddy Caleb. He noticed my inhaler sitting next to my phone. He noticed my keys still on the hook. He asked Harper, "Did you actually see him leave?" She hadn't. Caleb didn't argue. He just started opening doors until he got to the basement. My dad tried his key. It wouldn't turn. He kicked the door hard enough to splinter the frame. He found me curled against the wall, blue-lipped and barely there. When Mallory rushed forward with fake panic, Caleb stepped in front of her. "You knew," he said. At the hospital, the doctor read my chart and looked my mom right in the eye. "This isn't a prank," she said. "This is attempted murder." Then she asked me, "Your sister knows you have asthma, right?" I nodded. She picked up the phone and called the police. A detective pulled my parents' camera footage. It showed Mallory installing the deadbolt. It showed her grabbing my phone. It showed her checking the basement door again and again 6 times, then walking away. They also found a hardware store receipt for the deadbolt and a kitchen timer. Then the real reason surfaced. A search of her house turned up a forged loan in my dad's name, $42,000, and other shady accounts. Her phone had searches about hypothermia temperatures and asthma attacks in cold air. Mallory hadn't locked me down there for laughs. She'd cornered herself with fraud, and I was the one person in the family who could read the numbers. Her charges jumped fast. Unlawful restraint, identity theft, then attempted murder. My mom still tried to minimize it. She came into my hospital room and hissed, "Think about what you're doing to this family." Harper stood up and said, "Get out." My dad filed for divorce a few days later. Mallory was convicted and sentenced. I lost the tip of a finger and a couple toes. My lungs never fully bounced back. Receipts don't care about family titles. Years later, when she tried to rewrite the story, people shared the court records anyway. Jobs disappeared. Friends vanished. She called me screaming that I ruined her life. I said, "You tried to bury me to hide your theft. Live with it." Then I blocked her. What would you have done in my place? And would you ever forgive a mother who called that a prank?